right. You guys will probably remember Haven Wilvich. Haven Wilvich. Haven is a trans woman who filed a complaint with the Washington Human Rights Commission to say that she was being discriminated against because a traditional Korean spa, the Olympus Spa in Linwood, Washington, would not allow her, she claims, access to the spa because she has not undergone surgical interventions. And that's sort of the threshold, because Olympus Spa is an all-women's spa. You're allowed to be nude in there, etc. And it's kind of a traditional spa. And so they have rules around transgender people using the spa, and you have to have undergone a certain level of surgical interventions to actually change your gender before you're allowed into an area where there is naked women. So anyway, Haven is now speaking out in the media saying that she wants to change public disclosure laws because she's been harassed after this story came to light. Here is the article from King 5 News. Push to change public disclosure laws after trans woman's complaint leads to harassment and death threats. And look, I will state for the record, I mean, that's awful. You don't want anyone to get death threats or harassment. I have no doubt that she did. I'm sure there are some lunatic people on the internet who, sent things to her, and she talked a little bit about that with King 5. Here's a clip of their story.
I found myself getting targeted with hundreds of hate messages and threats of violence.
The messages shared with us, incredibly vile, but Haven wants you to hear some of what she's received.
You'll never be a woman. Go kill yourself. Haven Wilvich is a predator. Hope karma comes for this disgusting, misogynistic pervert.
To Haven's surprise, her complaint to the Human Rights Commission ended up in court documents. The spa taking the commission to court because of its decision. That case was dismissed, but Haven's trouble had just started.
Transphobes on the internet were able to find my name in connection to this and are trying to place the blame for the change on me rather than on state law.
So here's the thing. So now she wants to go and say that if you file these complaints because of harassment with the Human Rights Commission, that your name can be protected. So if somebody files a public disclosure request, your name would be blacked out. Now, in principle, I don't necessarily disagree with that. I think it's a conversation that I'd be open to having with someone who wants to advocate for it. There are instances via public disclosure laws where certain private information can be withheld. And I certainly want someone to feel empowered, if they're truly being discriminated against, to file a complaint with whatever entity it is, in this case the Human Rights Commission, and feel like they can do that without then being targeted for further harassment. So I don't necessarily think it's an unreasonable request, but here's where I find this media tour from Haven Wilvich to be a little bit insincere, and her now push to change public disclosure requests a little unbelievable. Haven Wilvich was all over social media talking about this fight she was having with Olympus Spa before it ever hit the news. She was actively seeking attention for what she was doing with the Human Rights Commission. And I'll just give you an example of a couple things that Haven Wilvich put out before there were stories out there and this became a national talking point. I mean, insults against biological women. I realized something important today. I'm more woman than any TERF will ever be because I'm an intentional woman, whereas they are only incidental, which is just offensive. And then she posted after the Human Rights Commission sided with her, I did it. I worked with the Washington Human Rights Commission and got Olympus Spa, the main naked ladies spa in the area, to change their policies and allow all self-identified women access regardless of surgery and genitals. So she is putting herself out there as a martyr for this cause. And in doing so is insulting biological women. Calling us TERFs, people, transgender, exclusionary radical feminism. So this is someone who's never wanted to shy away from the spotlight, who wants to be seen as a martyr for this cause, who wants to have her face on it, who wants to have her story told. There's this, and I'm pretty sure it's run by her, a website all about, her experience and her journey. This is someone who wants and craves attention and actively goes to seek it. What she doesn't like is the response that attention seeking got her. Now look, let's exclude from this conversation death threats and hate speech. It's inappropriate in any context. But I have to imagine that Haven Wilvich also didn't love a lot of the pushback that she got from reasonable people who said, look, there is a reason why some biological women might be uncomfortable. So if you're going to go after a business in this way, if you're going to file a complaint against them with the Human Rights Commission, if you're going to actively talk about that complaint on social media, and then you get backlash and you're like, oh, I want to change the laws so that I can hide my name from this, and anybody else who wants to file can hide their names. It's just disingenuous, and it's a little bit unbelievable that now she wants to put the toothpaste back in the tube. You're in this fight, and you chose that. Now, again, more than happy to have a legitimate conversation about whose name and identities should be protected when it comes to public disclosure requests. There's a lot of legitimate reasons why some things need to be blacked out when they're handed out to the general public. I totally understand that. I just don't think that Haven Wilvich is the poster child for that argument and that debate.